really, we have all this information, which is really a treasure trove of information that we can then use to optimize our communication campaigns. And using those sort of analytics tools to understand how your communication campaign is going, it can, even like save you like an order of magnitude in cost, or you can use your limited budget much better, because you can have a promotion like on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere, and you even maybe you're spending money on it, and you're spending money on another promotion, and with analytics, you can see which one of those promotions is more effective. And it can often be an order of magnitude. You can be paying like for one promotion, 10 cents for each click, but for another promotion, you can pay $1 for each click. So the analytics part, this whole sort of circle of, you have a project, you communicate it, and then you analyze it, and you adjust your communication campaign sort of like in some cases daily, just to follow it a little bit and see what works and doesn't work. And organizations with analytics can also build up a knowledge base in terms of, you do one project, you do one communication campaign, and when it's finished, you have all the data to analyze what worked, what didn't work, and so on and so on. So for the next project, you can then take the elements that were working best and sort of evolving those. Because and this is sort of the main tool in working with the attention economy, because it's so complicated. There's so many websites, it's like, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatnot, government websites, there's media, PR campaigns, and so on. It's such a complicated environment that even for people who have been doing this for years, it's almost impossible to, know for sure, if you do this, then this will happen. But with an analytics on the back end, which you can monitor daily or real time even, you don't need to guess, and you can respond quickly to it. However, before we start sort of this main communications talk, then and as again, feel free to ask me questions or raise your hand anytime or ask me something in the chat. But before I start that, I'm going to share with you a little bit of what we're just working on just this week, basically. So I'm sure like some of you have heard about ChatGPT and Bing Chat, like AI brains that are really powerful. And let me just share my, Christian, can you allow me to share my screen? Christian?
Yes.
I will. Yeah, I will.
Yes.
I just need to make me a host.
Sorry, I thought I did make you already a co-host.
Right.
No, it's done.
I'm a host now. Very good.
Okay,
no
sorry.
problem. So for the ones of you who don't know ChatGPT, then it's basically like an AI algorithm, like an AI like a model, which you can talk to, and it's designed. It's technology that was originally designed by Google to do translations between languages, and they made a huge breakthrough in 2017 with the technological transformers, in just how good the AI model is guessing the next word. So it's always just guessing the next word. But then something unexpected happened when they scaled up this technology. So originally it had about 100 million connections, like an artificial neuron, connections, between them, 100 million. But then they scaled it up to 1.5 billion. And interesting things started to happen. But now, a couple of years ago, they scaled it up to 175 billion sort of artificial neural connections. And suddenly those models could start taking instructions and they could start to reason and do really unexpected things. And so, so let me just, quickly, if I see here, do you know Better Reykjavik? As we talked about in this course for a bit. And ChatGPT, says they're aware of the platform, when it was launched, it knows it knows things to do about it, and it has been praised for innovative citizen participation. So it knows a lot of things. It can also help you write things and so on and so on. And but this technology, ChatGPT, we can also use it with in other ways. So what we're doing is that on your priorities, basically before the end of this month, at least in English, we'll be including an optional chatbot with every project. And so one of the problems with like ChatGPT, sometimes a problem, is that it can make things up. You ask it something, it doesn't know about it, and it just tries to guess, and it ends up just making things up. So we know that's quite a human trait, actually. People tend to do that. But what we're doing, and one of the sort of big promises of this technology, is that we're using this big sort of AI reasoning brain with our own data. So we can bring our own data and sort of melt it with this amazing AI technology. So that meaning we can create a chatbot that is always answering with our data and correctly. It's not going to make anything up. So in this demo, this is from the My Neighborhood participatory budgeting project, where we had over 1,700 ideas. We talked about this in the first day. So a lot of ideas to go through. So here we have like a chat interface, and the chat interface announces itself. I'm the Better Reykjavik engagement assistant. You're viewing the My Neighborhood project. How can I help? And then I ask, what are the top 5 ideas in Vesturbær? And now it's actually using the data from this particular Your Priorities project. It's using this data to give me this answer, and this is a correct answer. It's not like ChatGPT is not even allowed to make anything up. So, and then I can start to reason about it. I can say here, what are the main similarities and differences for those ideas? And then it gives me a list of similarities, better place, positive impact, and so on and so on. And then I ask here, what are the main points for and against the statue of Yeah? And this is a very controversial. Somebody wanted to put a statue of Kind West. Yay, I don't know if it was a joke or not, but the points for are like there's a lack of street art in the area, which is true. But Kind West has also been accused of abusive behavior and supporting white supremacy, which could make the statue inappropriate and embarrassing. So, I'm pretty convinced what I would at least think about for this particular project. So I asked the Better Reykjavik chatbot, are there any child-friendly dog park ideas in Vesturbær? And the bot knows about that there are no ideas about a child-friendly dog park, but it also knows that there was a dog park approved in 2018 in the My Neighborhood project. So So it says there's already a dog park in Vesturbær, near Vesturbærløgin, which was approved by voters in 2018. However, it's not designed to be child-friendly. And then the bot asks, do you want me to draft a new idea for a dog park that is both dog and child-friendly in Vesturbær? And then I say, yes, please draft the new idea and include the best location will be close to the university. And please also generate an image. And then the AI comes with an idea that I can edit. I can edit this text, and if there's something I don't like, and so on. But both here, this idea and image is generated with artificial intelligence. So I just wanted to show you this as a sort of just a little bit of a peek into the future of what we are sort of working on at the moment. This is also going to be this, same technology is also going to be in the main user interface. So when you're adding a new idea, it can give you suggestions and help you to write the best idea possible for a given project. For policy crowdsourcing, you'll be able to bring in draft proposals of the policy. So citizens can inquire the AI brain about the policy, how it works, and so on and so on. And we really think this is, aside from all the other artificial intelligence features we have in, your priorities, then we think this one is actually quite exciting, and this will be available basically as an optional option. So if you have created a your priorities project and you have ideas, then you can choose to enable this. And we're not going to enable this by default, at least not to start with. But some exciting new things to look out for sort of in the coming year. So yeah, as again, just let me know if you have any questions or raise your hand or whatever. But otherwise, we'll go into to talk about communication a little bit more. So here is what we call a citizen attention model, which we've sort of which has been quite sort of a successful policy, successful way of designing the software and so on. So your priorities is very social media friendly. If you share an idea from your priorities on social media, it has going to have the image in the right size, it's going to have the text in the right format, and so on and so on. And this is sort of if you start on the left, we have governments or and civil society doing a campaign, and we see the first arrow. I'm not sure if you see my pointer, but you have a campaign for a new, let's say, a new citizen engagement project. So you do a marketing campaign like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, but also PR, and you talk, try to get in the news and so on, and then citizens, if you go to the right of the card, there's an arrow called Add Impressions. So then citizens, they see those ads, they see those promotions on social media. They're not maybe all ads, they're maybe just you put it on your profile and then some people see it, but it's mostly ads, because if you put something on your Facebook page, Facebook is not going to show it to very many people except if you pay them. It's pretty sad, but it didn't used to be like that. I mean, 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, when you had the Facebook page, and you had 1,000 people there or 5,000, then you would put something on there and a lot of people would see it. But today you have to pay. It's like we call it almost like a social media tax, But anyway, so you have a campaign, you have impressions where citizens see the link, they click on it, and you have citizens here on the right, and they click, and the citizen clicks on the ad, and they come to your priorities. So your priorities at the bottom. But then what happens? And in many projects, and for example, for the My Neighborhood project that you showed you, that many people, that they put in an idea or they vote something up or down, or that they share their own idea on social media. So then other citizens will see it and they will click on it, and that's the circle at the bottom right of the page where, for example, for the My Neighborhood project, 70% of the clicks of the visits to your priorities comes from the circle on the bottom right. That's where citizens are sharing content from your priorities to social media, and then other citizens are clicking on it. Think about it. Actually, last year, 75% of all the visits are coming from citizens promoting this to other citizens. So only 25% of the traffic is coming from your communications campaign. So so this is really important because it's like if you manage to get this sort of an cycle going, where citizens are interested enough in the project that they are, well, they participate and then they share their ideas or debate points with other citizens on social media, then you really get a very powerful engine where citizens are sharing this amongst themselves. And like, you know, I mean, I guess you can call this sort of going viral, like people used to talk about. I think people talk less about going viral after COVID, actually. But this is sort of a, you know, a method for sort of in a systematic way, you know, helping things go viral. Because I mean, you know, in general, you know, things don't really go viral except like, you know, if it's something like very funny or like, you know, like things like that, or a funny meme or a politician saying something bad or whatever. But this model is like it's like an engine of sort of, you know, how do we because it's also like with social media, like Facebook, you know, they actually put emphasis on content that citizens share themselves. That's not like a news article or something like that. The social media you know systems they actually put on, I mean, they try to be like community oriented. So if somebody in your community, in your city, is sharing something that they created like on your priorities, then the social media companies will promote it sort of quite effectively. And oh, I forgot to open that. So I want to show you one table here. It's just stats. Here we go. My neighborhood stats. It's a bunch of stats. We do stats for everything. That's really a you know, something that is very helpful for a project that's been going for a long time. But I just need to find here the right chart. Yeah, this is, for example, how many people visited the idea generation. So, you know, down to like, you know, 8,000 in 2011 and up to, you know, 70,000. And we'll go into this in more detail. I'll show you some analytics on this, what is happening in those years. And but we're really happy about that. And here you can see, so I know it's Icelandic, but this is actually actually I was going to have it in English here. Citizen sharing. Oops. Like that. So this is like from 2011 to 2022. So the orange one is basically citizens sharing amongst themselves. So each of those represent like a link to an individual idea. So somebody shares their idea on social media and then other people click and come into the platform through the idea that somebody else shared. And this has been growing sort of all the time. As I said, it's up to 75% now. So this is like, and as from a communications perspective, you don't pay anything for this. You know, this is citizens sharing amongst themselves. But however, this is not going to happen. You know, this virtuous cycle is not going to happen except if you do the other 25%. If you you know, you need to do an effective communication campaign to trigger the citizen sharing. You know, it needs to be, you know, you need to promote it so it's well known, and but then you really get this really impressive multiplier of citizens, you know, sharing amongst themselves. So so like for our demo, if we wanted to promote this project here, then and we'll go into a bit more you know, sort of detailing exactly how we would do that in a little bit, but But let me just first, show you a little bit about, the social media sort of sharing economy. So here's our Better Iceland Facebook page, and I just there was a new municipality joining our Better Iceland platform yesterday. A really fun project called Our Akranes, and actually my wife is from this. I'm just going to do the auto translation here. Hold on. Go here into English. Yeah, so this project just started a couple of days ago, and already many fun ideas that people want to do. This is a type of a participatory budgeting project as well, and so yeah, so it's a lot of fun. But anyway, and unfortunately, like sometimes this Facebook page can become a little crowded. Let me see, it's better to do it like that, maybe, yeah, maybe not. It's yeah. So, but you have like your posts here on the right side of the screen. So if I wanted to put a new post, I can click on here. But always here is the post I shared yesterday. It says just we welcome Our Akranes to the Better Iceland, social media website, and down here, and you usually have a button here called Boost Post, and first it's like, for the first few years of Citizens Foundation, we spent considerably more on Facebook ads than salaries. I always had like another job that was paying my salaries, like a paying job. And and believe me, I'm the last one who if I had the choice, would be spending our money on Facebook, to give Facebook money. There's so many problems with Facebook, that I'm not even going to start with all the problems. However, that's where a big chunk of your audience is, and even if you have a page, let me see how many. Yeah, we have 2,700 followers here, and if you go into the insights, I put this yesterday. You can press here insights and add. So out of those 2,700, actually 210 saw it, and I think actually that's high. I would expect that to usually be 80 to 90, but I haven't posted anything for like a month, so I think they showed it to more people than And when they say post impression and post reach, it only means that when somebody's scrolling through their feed, that they will see this. I mean, well, they might not even see it. It's just that they will. They have like like when it says post impression, it really means somebody scrolled over your post. It doesn't mean that like people were like, oh, it was only 3 people who sort of engaged with it and sort of did a like. But so to get just to the audience on Better Iceland, those 2,700 people, I'm going to boost it for a little bit, maybe $20 or something like that. So I can press here the boost button, or if I go into insights and add, I can also press boost there. But let's just click here on boost, and then you have so some advanced creative. I enable this now, that it will try to make our promotion better. And what's the goal? And I always change this to get more website visitors, because if you have an engagement project like on your priorities or like this, Our Akranes, we want to get more website. We want to get people to our website. We don't want to just get likes on Facebook or something like that. So we sort of save that as our goal. And there's like a button. I'm not going to have a call now with my number. I'm going to have learn more. And then it's just will take us to the website. So it's a button here. So So it asks me if it's about housing, social issues, elections, or politics, and this is where it gets sometimes complicated, because the definition of participatory budgeting, for example, it's like is it a social issue? Not really. So, but that's something you will have to look at. If you choose this one, if you say it's an ad about elections or politics, then that means that you will have to be registered with Facebook. You will have to upload your passport, and you will only be allowed to run ads in your country. This is, and they put this up there for, I think, pretty good reasons. I mean, it's been really, really, really bad for civil society, though. Like, civil society could advertise across the world on Facebook before, but after the scandals of 2016, 2017 with, Russian hackers basically, controlling parts of the election in the US, then they put that in there. But I'm not going to mark this. This is just like a little participation project. I'm not going to flag it as an election or political issue. It's not a political project at all. But then we have our audience here at the bottom. And I'm only going to choose people who like our page. So I'm only going to, target the ones that are already those 2,700 to like our page. But obviously, if you don't have many people on your page, and if this was like a more of a this is, I mean, it's not really our job to promote our Better Iceland Facebook page is just like, it's for all the different projects that are happening on Better Iceland. But Akranes itself, who is running this project, they actually have an advertisement agency that is advertising the project, like on social media and so on. So what I'm doing here, I'm more or less just using this as an example on how to use the boosting. I'm as I say, there's an advertisement agency actually, promoting this project. I'm not promoting this project, and the Better Iceland website is it's more sort of for people working in NGOs, civil society, and so on. It's not really for citizens directly. And I'm only going to have it for 3 days here, and people who like your page, 3 days, and I'm going to use $20 here, and then I see here the total budget is $20 US, and then I can press here boost post now. So this is just really a quick overview of how you do this on Facebook, and it will go into a review, and then my ad will start to run. And but I say this is just like, it's just an example, just something for fun. Already Akranes, a small town, a few thousand people, they're already doing quite well with 50 ideas and 179 people participating. So they don't seem to need much help in the promotion side. And in their case, for example, they got the help of a local advertisement agency, and that's obviously always, if there's a budget for that, that's always also really great, there's obviously people who are, professional, advertisement promotion people. They often know things that are, are sort of, but still, with low budgets and so on, often then you need to take on the role of the advertisement person. And so that's why we're, talking about this here as well. And then we have, Twitter ads. Again, we started to advertise there like in 2019 a little bit. And again here, I mean, to give Elon Musk all this money, 42,000 euros is a lot of money for us, it's like, I mean, so that is it's significant money for us, but we did get 11 million impressions, through it. So those 42,000 euros, I mean, we don't, we don't regret it in any way, but it's still like, being a poor nonprofit. Why should we be paying so much to the richest man in the world, just to let people know about projects, but that's how it works. You can't that you can't really and so Facebook, I'm not going to go into any details on how those how this advertisement system works. You go in here, you create a new campaign, and it's a similar sort of targeting and so on. And also with Facebook, there's also a separate advertisement manager. I'm not really going to go into either here. That could be like a whole course on its own. But it's easy to find help online on how you do use the Twitter ad manager, and helpful also go to ChatGPT for a non-profit project. So often, for example, ChatGPT is actually a really good. I mean, ChatGPT knows a lot about marketing and communication, and it gives usually quite good advice, And when it comes to marketing a campaign, it's fine if it makes some things up, as well. But so I have to say I totally agree with ChatGPT here. A good thing, I'll show you this in ChatGPT if you are using it yourself, is that you can also then ask questions. You can ask follow-up questions on this. But those are some of the few points, and I absolutely agree. It's like, when you're running a successful communication campaign, define your goals. Define the campaign goals, and I mean, for an engagement project like this, it is having people come on and engage. Having new ideas added, having people take part in debates and so on. So, but still, your goals are going to be like customized. And number two, know your audience. Try to understand: are you reaching young people? Are you reaching teachers? Are you reaching government? Whoever it is, that's really important. That can be any audience that you're targeting. But it's just important to and this is something that like ChatGPT can help you with. For example, you can ask ChatGPT to write different versions of advertisement text for young people and older people, for example, and that's works amazingly well. I mean, ChatGPT is like our communications assistant. It's become a part of the team really the past like 2 or 3 months, in terms of we always consult our campaigns, and we always get useful feedback, and even if we have quite a bit of experience at doing online marketing and so on. I'm not a marketing person. I don't work in an advertisement agency. Even if I know quite a bit about it, I'm so far of knowing everything about it. So having ChatGPT there on the side is really helpful, and I encourage you to explore that strategy, and then develop a content strategy. Plan images, videos. Videos are quite important. I mean, they're not like the only thing that's important, but they are quite important. And as I'm sure if you would go into with ChatGPT on how you would develop the content strategies, like focus on shorter videos, for example, like under a minute, and use all the different platforms in terms of, I used to, like when TikTok was, getting really popular in Iceland, like 2 or 3 years ago. I used to say like a joke like 2 years ago, oh yeah, the city of Reykjavik will they'll probably have like a TikTok dance soon, and well, last year they didn't have a TikTok dance, but they ran a really successful campaign on Twitter, using, which comes to point number 4, utilizing influencers, and that's also, and I mean, here in Iceland, as in any place, you have a whole range of influencers, and the influencers that like the city of Reykjavik has worked with are, people who are not really like the fashion influencers, maybe something like that, but more like maybe comedian types and things like that, people who are talkers, influencers of being, yeah, so that's really important as well, is to look at ways of doing that, and even having a budget to pay influencers. I know it's a bit strange, and for me, like the first time the city of Reykjavik talked about the influencers, I was like, really? Is that democracy? We have influencers now? But hey, that's the attention economy. And that's the thing, is that like whatever works to actually get people to let people know about it. That's the thing. And that's the difficult part. It's difficult to get something in front of people like on their phones that they then know, recognize, and then they come and participate. And that's the thing, what we've seen is that like when this works, when we are able to let a lot of people know about those opportunities to participate, there's huge demand for it. But it is tricky, and as I say, so that's really important. So use hashtags. That's a sort of a basic thing, and engage with your audience. That's a really good point, because that's also, if you have something on Facebook and then somebody asks a question or makes a comment, go in there and answer it. Engage with the audience, help them if they are having issues, answer them politely if they have some maybe angry like questions. If they're rude, just hide their comments or delete their comments. Never accept any engagement that is not other people will not be surprised if a comment is deleted that's rude, and definitely we always recommend sort of a zero tolerance policy towards it's hard enough being like a CSO or running a nonprofit than having to start to take having the public being rude to you. So but then as talked out of my mouth, measure your results, monitor the performance of your social media campaigns using analytics tools, and use the insights you gain to refine your strategy and improves your results over time. And that's just so important. And that's sort of what we'll after a little break, I think we'll maybe take a break in like 5 minutes or something like that. But after the break, we'll then dive straight into how we can use those analytics tools to understand the campaign. But so I asked ChatGPT about those tips, and so what the best way to run a campaign on Twitter and Facebook, non-for-profit, and we ask. Oops. The chat box was here under like that. So our project is a engagement project about what did we call it? Better policies for disabled people here. So see, I'm still here in ChatGPT. Oops, I made a typo. But, our project is a project on better policies for disabled people. What types of audience groups would you and targeting? And I sometimes say here, let's think step by step. So sometimes, especially if you want ChatGPT to give you sort of a list of information, then often it's good to say, let's think step by step. And we have a question here in the audience. Yeah, very good point on the chat. So absolutely, to you, a really good suggestion from Christian, about using the Facebook Ads Manager, and yeah, as I say, I'm not going to go into that in detail, but yeah, the really good suggestion from Christian that if you have the time and if you actually have some budget, if you only have $20, I mean, using the boosting is fine. But if you have a bit of money and you can actually, no, actually that's a good point with the, you can get better targeting with the boost, but it's still, if you go in here and if you do make sure when you boost that you focus on your audience. So it is right, it's absolutely right, Christian, that it is you can target much better using the ad manager. But even if you go and if you create a custom audience inside the boost, you can get pretty good results actually. But Christian, absolutely right. For that is better to use the ad manager. It's just more complicated. So ChatGPT here, meanwhile, gave us some really good suggestions. So we asked here, what types of audience groups would you recommend targeting? Let's think step by step. And ChatGPT note, we are talking about better policies for disabled people. So step one, they suggest this is a sort of initial awareness and interest, and that's actually really good. And that's actually a really good, suggestion, because if you have a specific project like around like disabled people, for example, then doing it in 2 steps like this is actually a good idea, because if you get the stakeholders in the project, don't need to be disabled people, whatever stakeholders there are, and here in this case, disabled people and their families, disabled organizations, local community members, is that you raise awareness of the project so very early on with the people who are most interested. They start to add content to the platform, which means when you reach out in step 2, then you have some content on the platform already. And so the step 2 would be politicians and policymakers, disability advocates, influencers, volunteer and community users, and then they have like so, but those are just some examples, and as I say, always take anything that ChatGPT says with a grain of salt. ChatGPT can as I say, make up things. I'm also using the new Bing AI that is actually much more factual, because that uses search also to bring you answers. But I was thinking now, so we've gone close to 50 minutes into the project that will do a little break, 10-minute break now. So we'll meet here around the hour in 11-12 minutes, and where I will take you through analytics for my neighborhood 2020, 2020, and then my neighborhood 2022 idea generation, which we use 2 different analytics systems. One is one is Google Analytics, and we'll go into that in detail how that works. And then we'll also look at the built-in analytics and promotions that is now built into your priorities and it's built into the chat demo here. Better policies demo here, analytics and promotions. So we'll first look at sort of the baseline like Google Analytics is what most projects use. Plausible Analytics is a up-and-coming competitor to Google, especially in Europe, and it's open source and so on. So we think it's better. But Google is still important to understand Google Analytics. That's sort of the main tool we've used since 2009 when we launched our first project. So but otherwise, I suggest we take a little coffee break now, and I'll see you in 11 minutes. But I'll be here in front of the computer if you If you have any urgent questions now. Right. So I'm going to start again, and to say if there's any questions, just ping me. Otherwise, or just raise your hands or comments. But otherwise, what I plan now is to maybe have half an hour where I go a little bit over the analytics part, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions. So up to a half an hour, and yeah. But I'm going to show you first here on our Better Reykjavik website. Go there, Better Reykjavik. Is that we have this project here, My Neighborhood 2022-2023. That's ongoing, and we'll look at that in a little bit. But there's also My Neighborhood older projects, and so this is My Neighborhood's projects in 2022-21. And here you can see the sort of different neighborhoods, and go into that here. You can see all the projects that went through the process. And those are actually the ideas that got voted in sort of finally. You can sort of track the process here. Those are the ones that didn't go forward. But a lot of ideas, and you can see here from the top level data, we had 1,300 ideas. We had 10,000 people who logged in and took direct part in the debate. And then you can sort of see it here by neighborhood, which were the most you see also how many debate points there are in it here, sort of at the bottom of the screen all the time. And so this was very successful, and a lot of ideas, but it was also a very significant promotion campaign. And then, as we talked about earlier, a vast majority, 70% in those years, came from citizens sharing those individual ideas. So going on social media and clicking the share button here, for example, share button, share it on Facebook, they go in here and they say, oh, this is a great idea. Actually, I'm logged in as Better Iceland here, so I'm not going to share this. Anyway, it's just, just an example. Well, that's what people do on your priorities, or like on their phones as well. They go and share the, and people definitely share their own ideas, but people also share other people's ideas. And so that year we were using still Google Analytics as our main tool to track the consultation. And the city did an experiment, in this, in 2020, 2021, where the idea generation started in early November. And here on the, actually, let me make this a little bit bigger. Oops. Is that here you can see like a chart of the visits. You can see how many visits, basically how many visitors per day. And for the first time, it was like almost 3 months, 2.5 months long. It's never been more than like 1 month or something where it was open. It was open for a very long time. So it was quite And then it was quite popular here before Christmas, and then like after over the Christmas period, it's sort of people were not really, they were busy with Christmas here, and then it picked up again, and then like in the last day, which was January 20th, we had like 6,400 users in the last day. That's not uncommon, and we use that always in our campaigns to like when there's 3 days left, when there's 1 day left, when there's the final day, then we promote it like that. Don't miss out. I don't know, people tend to leave things to the last minute sometimes, but this is quite common that during the last day, you have a lot of people, and in Google Analytics, you have this chart here at the top. You have like a time period you select. So I've chosen, I've just chosen the period when the project was happening, and but you can here, choose today or whatever if you're running it, and we have this real-time thing here on the left side. As I said, this is actually changing a bit in Google Analytics 4, because I don't have access to that. And that's actually now real-time on Better Reykjavik. This is still connected to Better Reykjavik. You can see there's two people right here doing something. I'm probably one of them, actually. But there's actually, actually at the moment, there's only one small project active there. But otherwise, here on the left side, we have like a menu. And it has the real time, which you can see what's happening right now. You have audience, and also audience is basically your audience. Who are the people who came on, and acquisition. That means how did you acquire the user? It's a bit strange wording, maybe acquisition. It's basically where did the user come from? What part of your marketing campaign, did the user come from? Behavior then that's what people do, what pages they visit and so on. And we have conversion here, and that's all about hitting some targets. Like, we have a goal of adding new ideas. That's a goal, and so we can track those goals specifically. So those are sort of the core concepts in that you are dealing with in the analytics. You can have a real-time view, you have the audience, you have the acquisition, where did they come from, the behavior, what did they do, and then conversions. And if you look here at the audience, and don't worry, I'm not going to go through all those different menus, and then you get like a little overview. And so say, I've lost my, let's see, because I went into real-time mode. I lost the lost the time range here, but now we have the time range back. If you go into real-time mode, this can happen. Cancel here. So in the overview, you have the chart, and you can like change that here to weekly or monthly, for example. Then you can just look at it by here's this November, here's December, here's January. But usually it's this like a day is good, hourly. I'm not sure if that's gonna. I'll give you a bit more sort of detail. And then you have how many users. So that's just how many total users. And new users means users that hadn't visited the page in the following month. So most hadn't, and that's classic for those big promoted projects, because there was nothing really happening on Better Reykjavik in the month before. So then most of the users are as new. So, and we have 105,000 sessions. Now that means like visits. How many visits? It's just meant that then number of sessions per user is 1.46, as you see here below. And then we have page views, and those are how just how many total pages, how many ideas have been viewed. So on average, people view 2.9 pages per visit or per session. And we have the average time, which is 2 minutes and 23 seconds. So that's not bad. I mean, some people will come to this page and they will just like bounce right back. And that is number here, 45%. And actually it's artificially too high actually in this here. It was actually a bit less, but I'm not going to go into that. So, so yeah, that's sort of the overview. Let's just go down here a little bit. And there's this menu on the left side. Oops, like that. And there's an item there called Geo. I click on that and I press on location. So then this will give me like a map, and it will show me also a table here from where most of the users came from. So they came really all across the world. Both Icelandic people living in other countries, people just clicking on links they see in their Icelandic friends' social media feeds and so on. So, but as expected, vast majority, 87% from within Iceland. And in this view, and in Google Analytics, then this is a classic sort of table format you get. And one of the things you can do here is that we have defined sort of different goals. So, so one of the goals here is new idea completed. So if I click on that, then I can see that it registered 1,218 new ideas. There was actually a bit more, but that's a technical issue I'm not going to go into. Like sometimes you have a bit of sort of anomalies in the data that you just need to understand and so on. So, but here to be expected, if you look at the table here, then for this column here, 97% of the visits came from Iceland. No, sorry, the 97% of the new ideas came from Iceland. And that's not just, we had 9 ideas here from the US, we had 4 ideas from the United Kingdom and 1 idea from Denmark. And those are probably just people living in Icelandic people living in those countries. So, so you can track basically which country here, and then, and then you can break it down even more. You can break it down into city. So you click here at the top of the screen, and then you can look at the same information, not set. That sometimes happens. It just means that Google Analytics doesn't know from what country they came from. But most of the ideas, again, 94% came from Reykjavik. Some of them came from like Kópavogur, Hafnarfjörður, which are like the towns around Reykjavik. So this can be very useful, and we always like recommend like looking at this data and using, like in your priorities, you can use those goal completions. But actually, there's a much simpler interface. I'll show you just in a minute, because this is like the old what we've used in the past. I just wanted to show. I mean, you will maybe use Google Analytics. You can use that with your priorities and with other citizen engagement projects. But but I will show we actually have a much simpler solution for this now. It's going to be. But here you can see like just how it works, and it's a lot of data. But there's only like sort of usually some key data we're looking at, and we close this. There's many other options here, but but in the audience tab, the overview and the geo and location are the most important ones usually for citizen engagement projects. But then we have acquisition, and first I check here on overview. So and here we get like a breakdown. So this is where did the users come from? How did they know about the project? And so so a large majority on social media. Other is usually emails, like email campaigns. Email campaigns are really, really effective. They are, if you have an email list and of interested audience and you send the link to the engagement, that's really like, yeah, that's really powerful. And you can see a breakdown here, like where people came from, and you can see it's like from social media. And here you can see the conversion rate for a new idea, because we are choosing the new idea of new idea completed. People who have actually added an idea has been saved in the database. So we can see here that we have social media, other, direct, referral, organic search, email, and you can see here from the email that it had the highest conversion rate. So people who got the email, they 5.12% of those people, they added a new idea, compared to like if you had Google display ads, for example, which is your number 6, only 0.17% of people added an idea that came through this channel. And social media also is very general. I mean, if we change the goal, let me see, we change the goal to, for example, so for example, view idea. So that's another goal, of viewing idea. So then you get much higher like conversion rates, of people who are basically, like, you go and you see a list of all the ideas and you have a lot of information there, but those are people who click on and start to deep dive into the different ideas. You still have like a 50% email is still like, the conversion rate for email is much higher here. But still people on social media, like 13%, they really could do a deep dive. And social media, I mean, it is great, obviously, because it's so wide, but you also reach a lot of people who, they click on the link and then they'll just go straight back because, they're not interested or whatever. So another thing I look at in Google Analytics is that I look into source and medium. So, oops. Give me some error here, Google Analytics. Source and medium. Yeah, so source and medium is like under acquisition, all traffic, and source and medium. And that's for Google Analytics. I often use that. And here you can see more, basically the websites that where people came from. So 40% of the people, 40% came from m.facebook.com, which is the mobile app of Facebook. 40%. It's like it's and the reason for why that's so high is because of all the sharing that people are sharing on social media, like and then we have the desktop Facebook, some Facebook video ads, direct Google organic search, referrals from like the city of Reykjavik website. 2.7% of people came from there. Vísir.is is like a national newspaper, and so and you always get, like, you can check your goals here, view idea. Let's look at people who have endorsed something, who liked something, and then you can see, like, from the different if you just look at the goal conversion rate here, for example, so 22% of everybody who visited the platform, they pressed the like button or something. But you can see a huge difference, a lot of people who came from social media, 22%, 29% here, they clicked the like button. But people who came in through Facebook video advertisement, only 6% of people clicked on links. And this is sort of also a story of, that is, videos are great, and, they should definitely be used in campaigns if you can. But they don't always, bring you very sort of people ready to add some content themselves, but still very useful as a mix of everything. So, we see here, the final thing in acquisitions is campaigns. So acquisition on the left here, and then campaigns and all campaigns. And I usually click here on source and medium first. And then we basically see all the different campaigns. And those are campaigns that are basically tracked. And here we can see, like, website, email. This is the email here with if you looked at, again, we were looking at the endorsed, people who liked something. Here's only 6%, as it's the same information as before. Only 6% they endorse something in video, but the email, the people coming in from the website and email, and then it sort of goes on that, and you can really see here, like, a huge difference. So if we just look at, if you just click here and order this by endorsement, the conversion rate on just what percent of people who arrived through this campaign, they clicked on something. So here you can see a data anomaly. It's like Facebook, auglýsingar, it means ads, but this has been some test, like only one person came in here, but they had a 66% chance of clicking the button. But here we can see the website email, and that's 42%. Íbúar says that Citizens Foundation, we did a Facebook campaign, was very successful, where we had 19.4% of the people who visited through this campaign, they liked something. And then we have, like, a Google video, and the Google video was much more effective. There's only 29 people who came through there, and when you only have maybe, you need to, like, have more than 100 people until you really have enough information. But here you can just see how it goes down, how how some ads are, working so much better than others. Like, for example, that our campaign on Facebook had 19.14% conversion rate, while some other Google banner ads, Google banner ads at 0.51%. So think about that. So we have two campaigns. That's one where we have on Facebook, and with a special, very engagement, good text, and targeted well, and we had 19.14% of people liked something that came through there. And then we had like Google banner ads with displayed on some websites, and people who clicked on the banner ad, 0.51% of those people, they liked something, compared to 19 point. So you see, it's like, it's almost 2 orders of magnitudes, and I think about the money spent on this, how much money was spent on the banner ads compared to the Facebook ads. We probably spent a little bit more on the Facebook ads, to be honest, but this, it just shows like how much difference there can be in effectiveness of different channels and different ads. And finally, here on this one, I'm going to show you, for example, you can go into behavior, site content, and then landing pages. And this is quite useful, as was talking about before, about seeing where people arrive from, and some people arrive at the top of the community, and as I say, there was about this year there was about 70% of people arrived. There was 69%, arrived through just individual posts. And can you see here from the URL, like a community that's like coming directly to the homepage of the project, but otherwise people are coming through individual posts. And it's just like, and then it just goes on and on and on. Like, it's just, and some ideas, only 12 people come through those ideas, but then you have 1,000 ideas. It's like, it's quick to come, but this is sort of landing pages. And but let's now fast forward to today. No, actually last year. So this is my neighborhood last year. So the same sort of project with same sort of ideas. Just an evolution. People letting participatory budgeting, and we had 1,700 ideas and almost 9,000 people logged directly in, and a bit less than the 10,000 that logged in 2021. But that was over like 2.5 months, actually. This was only over 3.5 weeks, which we managed to, and we had more people actually who visited. So here, and as a part of every Your Priorities community, you have like an analytics and promotion menu item. So I click on that, and now you're in a built-in plausible analytics solution. So Plausible, it's also a company, and it's called Plausible Analytics, and it's like a Google analytics competitor, but all the software behind the Plausible Analytics, it's open source. So it means for a solution like Your Priorities that we basically built it into Your Priorities. So the Plausible Analytics solution is not built into the platform. So it's sort of very, very integrated into, And here, and this happened over a number of, it's actually 5 weeks, from beginning of September into October. So, let me just see here. I'm just going to put the custom time in here. I choose that from the menu item at the top. And let me see, we'll just have October to like that. Okay. Just want to make sure I have enough time here. No, yeah, it did start earlier. Sorry. It did start at the end of September, actually. So I choose beginning of September and end of November. Here we go. Now we found it. So yeah, the project has started here on, yeah. So you can also look at, you know, if you go into time selection here at the top right, you can look today, last week, and so on. So you can choose all sorts of time frames there. But so here we had 75,000 unique visitors. We had 330,000 page views. 2 minutes and 56 seconds where people on average stayed. This is like just the chart here. A really big last day, not the biggest day though. But and then I'll talk about this above here in a little bit. And there we have here like users who added content. And then we can have a graph, and we see this also for any project. We have a graph that shows how many users were adding new ideas, adding comments, and so on. And then also users who rated content, users who liked something. And then we have top sources. And I press here first all. And then we have, and this is in a much more sort of a user-friendly interface than Google Analytics. You know, it doesn't have all the options, it doesn't have, but it has the key information that you need, you know. So, we had, Facebook at the top. Twitter also was really getting, big, last year compared to previous years, social media campaigns and so on. And here again, I can go to UTM and I can say campaign, and then I can see the different campaigns like Berglind Festival here, social. And now the really sort of cool thing is that I can click on Berglind Festival, and then it creates like a filter here at the top. So UTM campaign Berglind Festival. So now all the information, like we had 2.3 thousand visits. The visits came here. So now I'm looking at exactly that advertisement. I'm seeing exactly just what happened, what had happened with this advertisement. So, and we also see how many people added content here, how many people added ideas. And we can see which pages were, visited and so on. So I'm gonna exit this now. So we get back to 75,000 here. But you can click on anything. You can also click on, like, for example, here you see all the top pages, and if I click here on this page here, just this one idea, then we can see, that it was 6,400 people who came, and this idea clearly was viral here just in one day. A lot of people visited in this one day. And but this is very useful to be able to just understand what's going on, in terms of different ideas, different social media campaigns and so on. And you can also say here entry pages, that's the same as landing page, as we talked about, also exit pages. And you have here locations, you have the good old map here, but you also have like a list of countries. You have like the device size, it's mobile. Most people are on mobile, 72%, desktop, 10%. And what browser it is, mobile app, that's like the Facebook mobile app, Chrome, Safari, it's OS. Yeah, a lot of iPhones in Reykjavik, clearly, 47% iPhones of the whole project. So, yeah, and then we have something also really exciting is that, we have, so we scroll to the bottom, then we have the goal conversions. And this is basically everything people do on the website. So, and there's a bit of, I'm not sure if you see it in terms of the color difference, but some of the items here in this sort of a bit of a chart format on the left side, there's like login and sign up and login opened, it's sort of highlighted. It's a bit more red than other ones. So those are the main functions. You can see here, endorse app completed. And then you can also click on endorse app, for example. And now you see, for example, you can see here now all the campaigns. And now you can see that endorse app, that people who clicked on the like, you can see where they came from. And like, you know, Loka tölvupóstur is the final campaign email. I'm not surprised that's where, you know, we had such a great 26% conversion rate. So this is very powerful in terms of being able to sort of, you know, because in Google Analytics, it's all about like those tables all the time, and you need to like really, but in this plausible analytics and in your priorities, remind you, this is built into your priorities. So if you do your own project on your priorities, this is just a standard feature, all of this. So, and, but I'm going to click on and remove the filter so we get all the information again. But yeah, that's sort of it for, so the basic functionality of this. But I'm going to show you on our project since before the weekend, where we have the better policies for disabled people. So if you go here into the menu item of analytics and promotion, and you will not have access to this because I created the project, so I'm the only admin. If you want access, just send me an email. I can make you an admin so you can look at this. But so I'm going to just look at last 7 days. So, or maybe I should just look at 1 day, custom range. Let me see. This was on Thursday, wasn't it? No. Here we go. So now I'm looking just at Friday. Of course, this was on Friday when we're doing this. So here I'm just looking at the Friday. And so as I said, this is the better policy with disabled people. And here is what happened. So we had 19 people visit, which is basically some of you, or you know, all of you who are here Friday. So those are your visits to the better policies with disabled people demo, and here's like how many people added content during each hour. So it's basically by hour, and how many people, because we just had 1 voting session, so we can see that here, and then we can see everything people did. We can see so mobile. 58% of you were on mobile, 32% on desktop, and 11% on laptops. And we had, no surprise, 16 people from Croatia and 3 people from Iceland. Actually, I think that's all me. I think I had more than 1 browser open, so that's me being 3 there. And you know, you can see which pages were looked at most. For example, this post here was and you can click on here the little arrow, and then you can see which post was it. Yeah, so that post got most views of 7, but then most of the other ones has like 6 views and things like that. So yeah, and yeah, and here you are everything that people do. So let's see. So let's say now that okay, so I'm just go here today. You know, we only have 1 visitor. That's not great. Let's say it was a real project, and now we wanted to look at promoting it. So what we can do is that we can do use a built-in sort of a tracking promotion feature in your priorities, and this is available for all projects. You know, if you want to use the platform, whatever, you can use this as well. So we create a new tracking promotion. So we call it promotion first Facebook campaign. And we put in some text, check out this project, something, and we select, we're gonna put it on Facebook. Yeah, we just, like for this one, we'll just say that we're just gonna put it on Facebook. Oh, okay, well, let's just put it on Twitter as well. Why not? Like that. So we're gonna put it on first Facebook, Twitter campaign, first Facebook Twitter campaign. So, and the choose here, yeah, Facebook, Twitter, and then I say save. Oops. And then it creates for me the first Facebook Twitter campaign, and it then has both Facebook and Twitter here. And I need to click on activate. So I put in here, just activate. And now what you need to do is that now you copy this to Twitter. So you can press here to the copy to clipboard, and I go on Twitter. I'm not going to really post this, but I go on our Citizens Foundation Twitter here, and I can just paste this in here. So if I paste this in here, it will put the link underneath, you know, and yeah, yeah, I'm not going to post this, but you know, regular, like when you post something on Twitter, on Facebook, people are not going to see this link. Same here as if you go into, oh, where am I? Yeah, so I confirm I have now posted the promotion link to Twitter. So so we are not connected to Twitter in any way. You will have to copy and paste the link. But I press here activate, and I also press activate on Facebook, and you know, I go to my Facebook page here. I'm not sure if I'm logged into somewhere else here. Yeah, what's on your mind? Better Iceland, and I put in the link. And then, like, what happens on then I can just delete this one, like here, like that. And then we have the link here, the demo for policies for disabled people, and with the right link. So so then if I click on the link, so let me just quickly, I'm just gonna, you know, take the link here, and I'm gonna copy it, and I'm just gonna click on it myself. Maybe I'll add another browser here. So I'll now clicked on it twice, just this link like that. And then in your priorities, so we've now activated, oh, I don't know, I didn't activate the, I didn't activate it, hold on a second, so it's activated like that, confirm here. So to confirm it's activated here, and then in the analytics, so now we can see here our Facebook campaign. And that's because I had like just faked it by you know, just putting the link in myself into another browser. Just to do it again, maybe I can do a private view here. Okay, let's put that in here. Oops, no. Oh, no, it's not the right link. Hold on. And you can always go back into the promotion and show, and then you can go and then you can copy the link again, like that. But if you go back into here and we come on, Microsoft, there you go. So now when I start to use Microsoft, then okay. Now I sort of try to click on it again, and I make another window here. I click on it again. I'm not really clicking on it. I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to get my numbers up in terms of campaign here. Yeah, so total 15 page views here. So then basically, if you use those tracking promotions here, you can you know, see them here, you know, sort of automatically in this view, but you can also see them here in the if you go to UTM and campaign, you will see the first Facebook Twitter campaign. And so you don't need to, I mean, in the end, so if you go here, for example, so you're gonna you know, you're gonna make an advertisement about CNN.com or whatever. No, not really. Let's put an advertisement here for our community. I'm just gonna put exit here. So here's the link to our community, yrpri.org/community. I can also go into this campaign URL builder here, and I can put in, this is my URL, and my campaign ID is this one. What's the campaign source? Citizens Foundation. What's the campaign medium? We're gonna have it on Twitter. Campaign name is first campaign, like that. And then this only thing this tool does for me is it just creates those links here, which has this UTM source and and if I copy it and if I paste it in here now, and if I go back into if I go back here also into I'm going back into ads browser, so I'm like you know, pretending to be another user, and then now in the see, oops, go back into analytics here. the menu. And now if we go into the campaign, oh, okay, we should see the, I'm not sure why we don't see the other campaign I created, but anyway. So before this, I think I'm, probably going to be confusing you now, but if you create your own project on your priorities, you can test all of this. If you go to yrpri.org and you click at the bottom right and create a new project, for your project, you will be able to see this analytics and promotions. So you will be able to play around with this yourself, check out if the promotion tracking system works for you. But it's very useful because it makes sure that every promotion you're putting out there has a link, so even if you're doing email, you can create a tracking promotion and say here email, and then just make sure that, it's trackable. Because if it's not trackable, so if I just sent this URL out in the world, oops, sorry. If I just sent this URL, just the main URL here with yrpri.org/community/9117, it's going to work. People are going to be able to go there. But in the analytics, both in Google Analytics, but also in the more newer plausible analytics, you're not going to see it. You're just going to see it that people came from somewhere. You're not going to know where they came from. I mean, you're going to see them in there as users, but you're not going to know where they came from. And so if you're doing your own campaigns, or also if you're working with advertisement agencies, just make sure that they're always using, even like in this project where for Akranes, this 8,000 people town that is doing this new PB project just started last week. When the first advertisement came in, they didn't have those UTM links. So the advertisement agency itself had forgot to put those links in there, but they fixed it, and now So, but anyway, I'm not going to go into that now. So always this whole tracking is so important. Let me see. So, any questions? I know it's been quite of a roller coaster of information, especially this time around. But please, if there's anything. No questions? Christian, what do you think?
Well, I think there was a lot of interesting examples. Some of the similar things we already used in some of our campaigns, but I really found the most interesting part about how you use the Chat GPT to actually use it for feedback for your campaigns. Mm-hmm. It gave surprisingly useful answers.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, we could. Yeah, I mean, it's really been. And now recently, I've also got access to Bing AI, another one which is even like better. It's like that's quite a revolution, and we are very much focused on. I mean, we really think it's gonna bring also really benefits both to citizens and making it more easy for them to take part, for them to take part in a more informed way. More with using open data and stuff like that, but also for governments to be able to understand what's coming from the citizens. We think it's like it's just really fun being in technology and non-profit technology. I mean, like this is like, because there's so many issues with artificial intelligence. It's like moving so fast, and I think citizen engagement is gonna have to play a big part in the very near future in engaging the public on artificial intelligence in general, and all the changes that they're bringing.
Yeah, definitely. It will be really interesting to follow. So are there any questions from our participants?
No, but there is a comment in the chat box from Marina from SOS Virovitica. She says that the promotion tools are really useful, and she wasn't even aware that all of them exist. So
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's you know, both you know, there's so many more, you know, so many exciting things happening with open source tools specifically, you know, and you know, a lot of people have been using Google Analytics just forever, but I mean, like, Google already has so much data, you know, and like, you know, and the good thing about you know, when you use Google Analytics, then you know, the user visits your website and the information is sent from the user browser to Google directly. So if you have an ad blocker or like, you know, or a privacy browser, that's the information won't go there. The user is going to be totally hidden. It's like a ghost coming to your website. If you're looking at Google Analytics, that user never existed. But compared to what we've done with plausible analytics, that's built in on the backend. It's like, because people are already talking to our first party server, your priority server, or your server if you're running the server. So there's no way to block it because we're not sending any information nowhere. The information just is generated as the user participates in our databases. So the built-in solution will always give you 100% correct number of visits and things like that, while Google Analytics will not.
Is this the final part of do we have another segment of the?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the final part.
Okay.
Should we do a fourth one? Should we do one just on AI, please? No, I'm kidding. But I would be happy to you know, do this again next year or whatever.
Yeah.
And even like, if we could do even like a shorter format, I could, you know, even without being a part of a, you know, some projects or whatever, I could come in and you know, because I mean, it's time. It's also a learning experience for me, and sort of helps me to collect my thoughts also on all of this when talking about.
Of course,
this, so
most of these tools are pretty new too, so we are all learning together. But yeah, we would definitely be interested to maybe do something similar in the future.
Very good.
And if that was it for today, I would just like to say thank you for doing this, and I hope it was useful. And I hope that some of you will use these tools in your future work. We have one more workshop tomorrow, which will be in Croatian, and there we will be focused more on the how to communicate with the decision makers aspect. But Robert, is it okay that we send your presentations to participants, because several people already asked me?
Yeah, I'll send you an email after this. They are already you know, public on Google Slides. I will send you a link after this call, and you know, just also thank you very much. It's been really fun, and don't hesitate to send me an email to robert@citizens.is if you have any questions, if you want to use your priorities, you need some assistance or whatever, and then always happy to help. And yeah, but great, thanks.
Okay, well, thank you once again, and we will also share your contact, and we will upload all of these workshops on our YouTube channel. So you can, if somebody missed them or wants to check something again, you will be able to do that. So thank you all for participating, and we will see most of you, I guess, tomorrow at the same time. And Robert, it was a pleasure, and it was really interesting, at least for me, and I hope for others as well.
Fantastic. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.